What if I told you that one of the most recognizable women on the planet, a former royal, a global celebrity, a woman whose every move is dissected by the press, was arrested this week in a scene so dramatic, so raw, that it left onlookers frozen in shock and disbelief? Imagine standing at the baggage claim of Seattle, Tacoma International Airport, casually scrolling through your phone, when suddenly the air stiffens, voices rise, and a high-profile figure is being restrained by police just steps away. That's not a plotline from a prestige drama. It's exactly what unfolded in Washington state. And yes, the woman at the center of it all was Meghan Markle. It was supposed to be a routine passage through the airport. Another day, another VIP slipping through the terminal under tight security. But what transpired on that concourse floor was anything but ordinary. According to multiple eyewitnesses, and backed by an official police report, Meghan Markle allegedly got into a heated verbal altercation before physically shoving a man named Coleman multiple times. Within minutes, she was surrounded, detained, and arrested. Prince Harry, silent and visibly tense, stood by helplessly as his wife was taken into custody by airport police. By the time the story broke, it had already become a viral storm. This video is going to take you inside the scandal. Not just what happened at the airport, but why it may have happened, what it means for Meghan and Harry's already complicated public life, and what's likely to come next. From exclusive eyewitness accounts to statements from law enforcement, from the first spark of conflict to Meghan's booking at the South Correctional Entity in Des Moines, we're covering every angle. But stick around until the end, because we'll be unpacking the one detail buried in the arrest report that no one's talking about. A chilling sentence that could shift public opinion and the legal narrative entirely. Was this a case of celebrity entitlement gone too far? Or is there more to the story than what headlines suggest? Let's dive into the chaos, the confrontation, and the consequences. Because what happened in Seattle may just be the breaking point of a saga that's been brewing beneath the surface for far too long. It was just after 8:15 a.m. local time when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were spotted entering Seattle, Tacoma International Airport through a discreet VIP corridor, designed to provide minimal exposure to the general public. The couple, flanked by minimal security, were expected to catch a private flight scheduled to depart by mid-morning. For onlookers, it seemed like a typical departure. Understated clothes, lowered heads, and an urgency in their pace. But beneath the calm exterior, something was off. Sources on site described a simmering tension between the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Meghan, reportedly clutching her phone tightly and engaging in what appeared to be a terse conversation over AirPods, looked visibly frustrated. Harry trailed slightly behind, silent, occasionally rubbing his forehead in what one witness described as a classic sign of stress. The friction started to become visible as the couple moved through a secondary screening area, a zone where even VIPs are subjected to additional checks due to heightened security protocols. It was here that Meghan allegedly became irritated with delays and what she perceived as unnecessary procedures. According to airport staff, she had expected to breeze through, but was asked by an official named Coleman to pause for an additional ID verification step. That's when the atmosphere reportedly began to shift. Meghan's demeanor changed sharply, according to multiple eyewitnesses. Her tone, once composed, turned sharp. The tension, already present like a coiled spring, began to unravel. What should have been a standard checkpoint quickly devolved into a confrontation, one that would escalate far beyond anyone's expectations. But before the arrest, before the headlines, it all started in that moment. A flashpoint at a security desk, triggered by a perceived slight, amplified by fame, pressure, and years of public scrutiny. What would you do if your own brother, the person you once shared childhood memories and secrets with, plotted to erase you completely from the family legacy? Imagine hearing that the very bloodline you belong to is planning to strip you of your titles, your identity, your very place in history. This isn't a plot from a royal soap opera. It's a harsh reality reportedly unfolding between two of the most high-profile figures in the British monarchy, Prince Harry and Prince William. For months now, whispers of a possible reconciliation between the estranged brothers have floated through the media. Fans and royal watchers alike dared to hope that the bitter feud, splashed across headlines for years, might finally be healing. But recent revelations threaten to shatter those hopes once and for all. According to trusted British journalist Rob Shuter, Prince William is making moves behind the scenes. Plans so severe that they could leave Prince Harry with zero title when William ascends the throne. The phrase "erase Prince Harry from the monarchy" is no longer hyperbole but a real possibility. Today, we're diving deep into this explosive development. You'll hear the raw emotions, the motivations driving the future king, and the devastating impact on Harry, who, according to insiders, broke down in tears upon learning of these intentions. What does it mean for Meghan Markle and their children? How is the royal family responding, or refusing to respond? And perhaps most importantly, what does this fracture mean for the future of the British monarchy itself? Stay with us as we unpack the layers of this royal drama, from historical rivalries to personal heartbreak, from public perception to private betrayals. By the end of the story, you'll have a clearer picture of what's really at stake when family, legacy, and power collide at the highest levels. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end for one of the world's most famous royal relationships? Or is there still a chance for healing behind palace walls? Let's find out together. To truly grasp the gravity of this reported fallout, we need to rewind the clock and understand how the once inseparable brothers, Prince William and Prince Harry, found themselves on such a turbulent path. Their relationship, once marked by shared laughter, adventures, and mutual protection, began to unravel publicly following the seismic announcement in early 2020. Harry and Meghan Markle would be stepping back from their senior royal duties, a move that sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace and the entire world. This decision, often dubbed Megxit, was not just a career shift. It symbolized a fracture in the monarchy itself. What followed was a storm of intense media scrutiny, public debate, and unprecedented interviews that cast a harsh spotlight on the inner workings of the royal family. Harry's candid revelations, ranging from feelings of isolation to allegations of mistreatment, deepened the divide, while William appeared to embody the traditionalist wing, emphasizing duty and loyalty. Despite public appearances and occasional hopeful remarks, the brothers' bond deteriorated amid these pressures. Reports emerged of private confrontations, silences, and emotional distance. The tabloids speculated endlessly about the cause. Was it Meghan's influence? Was it the monarchy's rigid traditions? Or was it a deeper clash of values and visions for the future? In recent weeks, however, there have been whispers suggesting a thaw, a tentative olive branch extended, signaling a possible rapprochement. But as this new report reveals, the cracks may be far too deep. The revelation of William's alleged plan to strip Harry of all royal titles adds a chilling new chapter to this saga. So, the question arises, can these brothers overcome decades of hurt and misunderstanding? Or is this a permanent rupture in one of the most public royal relationships of our time? When it comes to royal gossip and insider revelations, not all sources carry the same weight. Enter Rob Shuter, a British journalist and royal correspondent whose name has become synonymous with breaking news from within the palace walls. Unlike tabloid reporters who often rely on rumors and speculation, Shuter's reporting is backed by trusted sources close to the royal family, giving his scoops a level of credibility that commands attention. Shuter's newsletter, widely read among royal enthusiasts and insiders alike, has consistently provided timely and accurate information on the British monarchy's most closely guarded secrets. His track record includes unveiling private disputes, unexpected royal plans, and the subtle shifts in the royal household's dynamics before they hit mainstream headlines. In this latest revelation, Shuter claims to have obtained new intel indicating that Prince William is plotting to erase Prince Harry from the royal fold when he becomes king, a statement that, if true, is nothing short of explosive. This is not mere conjecture or media sensationalism. Shuter's insights stem from carefully cultivated relationships and sources that have historically proven reliable. His reporting has already stirred waves across the royal reporting community, prompting a mixture of shock, skepticism, and intense curiosity. For readers and royal watchers, understanding the gravity of this source is key to appreciating why this story demands serious attention, and why the implications for the royal family might be profound. The phrase "erasing Prince Harry from the monarchy" sounds almost like a dramatic line from a royal thriller, but the reality behind it could be just as harsh and definitive. According to Rob Shooter's report, Prince William intends that when he ascends the throne, Harry will be left with zero title, effectively stripping him of all formal royal designations and privileges. But what does this actually mean in practice? Titles like His Royal Highness, HRH, Duke of Sussex, and other honorary roles aren't just ceremonial flourishes. They represent a person's official status within the royal family and often come with responsibilities, patronages, and public recognition. Removing these titles would signal a complete severing of Harry's ties to the monarchy, relegating him to the status of a private citizen, despite his lineage. Historically, royal titles have been revoked in times of conflict or scandal. For example, Edward VIII famously relinquished his crown and royal privileges when he abdicated in 1936 to Mary Wallis Simpson. More recently, controversies have led to the removal of titles from other royals, albeit rarely and always surrounded by intense media scrutiny. Witnesses near Gate C23 say it started with a single question, one that apparently triggered a chain reaction Meghan Markle could not contain. "Ma'am, can you please step aside for a secondary screening?" Those 12 words, calmly spoken by a uniformed agent named Coleman, reportedly sparked the beginning of what police would later describe in their report as a volatile public disturbance. To some, it may have seemed like a routine part of heightened airport security. But to Meghan, as multiple bystanders recounted, it appeared to strike a nerve. She allegedly responded with a sharp, "Do you know who I am?" followed by a visible eye roll and the abrupt crossing of her arms. Her voice, initially controlled, quickly climbed in volume as the back and forth escalated. Coleman, described by airport employees as professional and even-tempered, reportedly repeated that all passengers, even high-profile ones, were subject to random screenings. It was at this point, according to an eyewitness standing in line nearby, that Meghan's composure completely slipped. She began speaking louder, gesturing with her hands, and demanding to see a supervisor. Her frustration was echoed by rapid pacing, finger-pointing, and increasingly heated language. Prince Harry, according to several witnesses, remained close but mostly silent. He occasionally tried to interject, seemingly to de-escalate the situation, but Meghan was locked in, fixated on what she clearly viewed as a personal affront. One traveler recorded part of the confrontation on their phone, later posting a blurry snippet to social media that immediately began circulating. The clip caught Meghan saying, "This is unacceptable. I'm not some random tourist." The tone, the posture, the mounting volume, all signs pointed to an outburst that had been building long before that morning. But no one could have predicted what would come next. As Meghan Markle's voice cut through the air like a sharp blade, the energy in the terminal shifted from tense to electric. The already agitated murmurs among nearby passengers turned to stunned silence as her gestures became more erratic. Her face visibly flushed, her body language radiating fury. What had begun as a verbal clash with airport staff was now barreling into dangerous territory. According to the official police report filed shortly after the incident, Meghan allegedly stepped forward and shoved Coleman with both hands. Once, then again in rapid succession. The first push reportedly caught him off guard, but the second, described as with considerable force, drew gasps from onlookers and prompted nearby security to rush in. One witness, seated near a vending machine roughly 20 feet from the scene, described it like this: "It was as if something snapped in her. She wasn't screaming, but her whole body was tense. She pushed that man like he had insulted her soul." Coleman, remaining composed throughout the ordeal, reportedly did not retaliate. Instead, he stepped back and raised his palms in a universal gesture of non-aggression, mouthing, "I don't want trouble," according to a lip reader who later analyzed video footage. But the damage was done. A call was made to airport police, and within 90 seconds, multiple officers arrived at the scene. Passengers were hurriedly moved away from the area, and the gate was temporarily closed off. Meghan, meanwhile, seemed stunned at the sudden police presence. One officer reportedly asked her to stand still, to which she responded, "I didn't do anything wrong. He was rude."